Okay, Secretary Stase, let me get this straight. So Co-Mayor Alexa formed a brand new faction with the reprogrammed Robotaminas to obey her called Succession Day. She declares herself the LJV Town Champion. She brutally attacked you, Dexy, and Queen Diva Marie. And then she stole a Thunder Rosa chase that Queen Diva Marie bought for me. And on top of that, Unrivaled Series 12 Jamie Hayter arrived here to LJV finally. I'm going to be honest, with all that information dumped on me, I don't know what to believe.
Co-Mayor Alexa is trying to cause as much physical and emotional damage to you to get you to retire as mayor. That way she becomes the sole mayor of LJV.
Alright, listen, I still have not seen her since she accidentally kicked me through the wall here, so I just need to talk to her face to face. I still think there's good in her. But either way, why don't I step down for a bit from being mayor? That way she leaves y'all alone and we can solve everything.
Do not give her what she wants. We need you.
Oh. Huh. What the? Looks like I got a video attachment from some unknown number.
Hello, soon-to-be former Mayor Aaron.
Hey, the video's from Co-Mayor Alexa.
I'm sure by now you heard I took your chase Thunder Rosa and claimed it as mine. I've been thinking, though, I don't need this to be honest. What is she saying?
I think she's gonna get back the Thunder Rosa chase. See, I told you there was good in her still.
So instead of keeping it in my collection, I figured I'd give it back to you. But I feel like this figure needs a little decoration before I send it.
Oh no. What? She's spray painting the chase figure. But it's in a protector. It's good. She knows it's in a protector. It's all good.
By the way, the protector didn't serve its purpose.
So
There. It is much more beautiful now. But I still don't like the packaging. Robotaminas and I need to do some remodeling.
Oh my god, they're stabbing it! Oh, they're massacring this chase!
Well, I think my work here is done. You need to retire, Aaron. Once you step down, I will be sole mayor of LJV. And I can run this channel how I want. I won't stop until you step down. Toodles.
And that's the end of the video. Well, Secretary Stase, I think I'm not in denial anymore. Co-Mayor Alexa hates me.
Listen, don't let her get to you. She's playing games. I don't trust her in charge of the channel. Don't give in.
But see, she was my friend, my co-mayor, my tag team partner. Without her by my side, I have no team.
You have a tag team partner, and she is standing right in front of you.
Huh?
Mayor Arun, it's time to bring sexy back. Together as a team.
The maximum mayor models. Hey y'all, welcome to Lumberjillville. Women's Wrestling lives here. Now before we get started, I just want to remind you to please hit subscribe to become an official resident of LJV and get a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, like today's very long-awaited review of AEW Unrivaled Series 12, Jamie Hayter. Now I say long-awaited because the Unrivaled Series before this, 11, Penelope Ford, I reviewed that October 2nd. It's been over 7 months between the Unrivaled series, and that to me is bonkers. I know there's rumors out there that they switched factories and whatnot. Maybe that caused some of the delays. But I'm going to post an image right here of the other Jamie Hayter I got today. Now look closely at that face. It has like a powder residue, the eyebrows rubbed off. I don't know what's going on, But either way, if they switch factories, the quality control isn't quite there. So, I don't know. It just seems like a big mess in my opinion. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to review this Unrivaled 12 Jamie Hayter. I can't wait. I've been waiting forever for this figure. So let's take a closer look. Alright, so let's start off covering the package. And I will say, and I've said this before, that AEW Unrivaled and Unmatched package, in my opinion, is the best action figure packaging out there. I just think it's so beautiful. I think it's classy. Get a nice open window, an image of the wrestler, the name on the side. We got the gold and black theme on the Unrivaled line. It just looks amazing. I love it. Now, I will say that sometimes when they have extra accessories, extra heads, extra hands, it does take away from the display factor. And here, this might be an all-timer here because we have these extra hands lined up in a row. It just looks weird. It looks odd. Now, I get that she has these open hands, and the ones she comes packaged with are closed fist and then like a C-grip so she can grab things. But either way, like, put them off to the side where they're not out in display. It looks ridiculous in my opinion. But it's really cool that we have this image of Jamie on the front. Well-deserved that we finally got a figure of her. On the side, we have the AEW logo with her image again. And on the back, we have an awesome image of Jamie Hayter with her little autograph there. And then we have the Dynamite this is from. She has worn this attire on a couple occasions, but I will cover that Dynamite. And then we have the rest of the line here, which is cool because we see some first-in-the-line figures, but we also see Jon Moxley and Cash and Dax. So, yeah, all right. Anyway, let's open this up. And you know what? Let's open it up on camera, y'all, because I've really been doing some experiments to try to figure out the best way to open up an AEW figure. And here's what I found out. So watch closely. So what you want to do is you just want to slit this tape here on the side, okay, real carefully, just so you can kind of, okay, so you can kind of, unfold it there, and you want to do the same thing here. You just want to real carefully cut that tape. Good. And then you just want to pull that out. Oh. It's not good. Alright, so we have that. Now, this next step is real important, and this is the best way that I found to get the figure out carefully. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is the best way. You just rip this thing. You just rip it. You have no regret. You just rip it open and take it out. There's no good way to open these figures. I don't care what anyone says. There's no good way, and here it is. AEW Unrivaled Series 12, Jamie Hayter. This attire is from the November 10th, 2021 edition of AEW Dynamite, which saw the team of AEW Women's World Champion Dr. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel lose to the team of Anna Jay, Ty Conti, and Thunder Rosa in a trios tag team match. So my overall first impressions of this figure, I mean, this is a cool figure, and I think that's why I'm so frustrated, because AEW has done a stellar job with their women's wrestling figures, and this one seems to be no different, but it's at the rate that we're getting them, or not getting them, that's been really frustrating lately. The last one was Ruby Soho from Unmatched Series 6, that was a few months ago, but then before that, Red Velvet and Penelope from Unmatched 5 and Unrivaled 11 came out in October. I mean, that's over 7 months, it's ridiculous, so I think I'm frustrated because these figures are so cool and they're so unique in their own ways. And yeah, sorry for the little rant. I just think this is a cool figure and I just want some more AEW women's figures ASAP. Now let's cover the accessories. So she does come with her open hands to do her little Jamie Hayter pose, but we also get these almost almost like an O grip there, a grasping grip on both hands. And then we have these fist hands. So it's nice to have the extra hands, but I wish they would have just scrapped those and given all of them that entrance jacket that the Chase has, which is kind of a lazy Chase, but that's beyond the fact. Now, the one thing I am going to say is in regards to the face. So let's start off looking closer at that. Alright, so let's start off with Jamie's face scan, face sculpt, and hair sculpt. Now, I'll be honest, I was a little concerned when I first saw images of this figure because, in my opinion, Unmatched 5 Red Velvet, and especially Unrivaled 11 Penelope Ford, their face sculpts were terrible. They were very generic. They almost look like FTC figures, and they almost look like creator wrestler faces, just not a whole lot of expression, emotion, or likeness to their wrestling counterparts. Now, this Jamie, I will say, is a lot better in hand. And the images I saw online, I thought the same thing. I was concerned that all women's figures in the future by Jazwares were going to be generic looking in the face. But this one, even though it does have a bit of that generic look, it does resemble her in a way. I know that's weird to say. I just have not been a fan of the face scans and sculpt that AEW has been doing with their women's figures as of late. And this one really doesn't exactly blow me out of water. I can't really tell. Now, I'll post a side-by-side right here so you can kind of see. And yeah, I haven't really made up my decision whether I love the scan and sculpt or not. I mean, from my angle above the camera looking down from up here, it actually looks great. But looking at it straight on, like through the camera lens, it just looks generic. So that is very undecided in my opinion. But looking at that hair sculpt, the hair sculpt is beautiful. I love this hair sculpt. I think it's excellent. The coloration is also cool, how they kind of tried to do different colors, but I wish they would have given her black near the roots. I think that really would have made that hair color stand out, because as of now, it looks like I tried doing a custom paint job to her hair. Like, it kind of looks sloppy as far as the hair coloration goes. Kind of like a coffee creamer running around there. I don't know. But the hair sculpt itself is beautiful. But yeah, I'm going to need a couple more moments to really make a decision on this face sculpt and face scan, but I'd love to know your opinion in the comments. Now, that being said, let's move on to the body sculpt and the attire. Alright, so moving on to the body sculpt in the attire. Now, I'm going to say this body sculpt is spot on, and that's what I really love about these AEW women's figures. They do a great job of giving each of these women's figures a uniqueness to them that really represents that wrestler very well, whether it be sculpted attire or body part choices themselves. They do a good job here, and here it's no different. This actually might be the best body sculpt that's the most like its wrestling counterpart that I've seen in any wrestling figure line, I guess you could say. I mean, they do a good job here. Obviously, they give her the accented behind, as we'll say. It looks to be the same that they gave Penelope, but in my opinion, they went overboard with Penelope. I think the backside sculpt that they were using previously worked fine, and there's no reason to give her a bigger one, I guess you could say. But this works perfect for Jamie, and the body sculpt itself is just spot on. It is awesome. Now, the attire itself is also very unique, and it's very intricate. There's a lot going on here, so let's take a closer look. So, first off, we'll look at her tattoos. On her left forearm, she has a really intricate tattoo, and they've done a better job with tattoo detail. At first, it looked very cartoony, but I think they're doing a really good job at improving their tattoo detail. Now, looking at that top, it is got a little bit of sculpting between the chest here, but obviously what stands out is the decal on it, and the paint on here is intricate. It's actually pretty insane when you look closely at the gold design, the silver design, the orange lines, the white kind of mesh type painted over. They do an excellent job here. And on the back, these straps are sculpted, which is nice. Moving on to the bottoms here, we have that gold design going around the waist. The bottoms are painted orange, silver, and black. And once again, so much intricate detail painted on there. It's tremendous. I think it's a really good job. And then we have these little garters, I guess you'd call them. And again, there's sculpting and paint detail there. That is beyond what they needed to do, but they did an excellent job there. Moving on down, she has these knee pads that are intricately painted with designs. We have a little bit of orange underneath with another little band going around. And then her boots are black with white, black molded laces, and then some chains along the side. She also has these little wrist, I guess, bands that are sculpted around there. They're a little thicker than wrist tape would be, and it looks really good. Now, what really stands out is this midsection piece, and this is a piece, and it's really cool. It's really fitting of her attire. Alright, so I'm going to be real with y'all. I tried popping this upper torso off to see if this piece was attached in there, whether it was glued or just put on the peg, but yeah, it was a disaster. So we're not going to continue with that aspect, but we are going to cover articulation here, and what we have here is head movement. She can look down a little bit, but that hair really stops it. She can look up okay, look right okay, and look left really well. Her shoulder is on a ball joint that kind of has that ratchet click that goes into plate. Very nice. We have the upper bicep swirl. We have double jointed elbows, maximum flexion. A wrist swivel, wrist flexion, extension. Now we have this upper torso movement. Upper torso movement. That's really good. You see what I mean? Like, these figures are very customizable, but they do come apart pretty easily, in my opinion. Almost too easy, so that's why I didn't want to mess too much with this upper body here. Anyway, we have that upper torso movement, which is really good. It's not really inhibited by this piece here. It's like plastic piece. We have waist swivel. Her hip is on a ball joint, can move in all different directions, but can't even think about going backwards because that really protruding sculpt there. The knees are double jointed, can bend really well even with the knee pads. We have a boot swivel, and the foot can plantar flex and dorsiflex up. Articulation is good. Alright, so this is Jamie Hayter's first in the line figure, so obviously there's no previous figures to compare it to, but I wanted to put it side by side with, in my opinion, the best Britt Baker figure out there, which is Unrivaled Series 10. This was re-released in that 2-pack, the Amazon 2-pack with Jade Cargo with the slightly brighter red, but either way, that's beyond the fact. I just wanted to put these two next to each other and show you how they look, and I will say that they work really well. So Britt Baker is listed as 5'7", Jamie Hayter 5'8", and Jamie is a little bit taller than Britt, so the figures look fine next to each other. And I know scaling isn't a huge deal. It's really not covered that much on this channel because Jazwares and Mattel are both guilty of completely throwing scale out the window, especially if you compare all the women's wrestling figures released next to each other. It's just there's no scale at all. So it's good to know that at least these two look really good next to each other, and yeah, I think they look awesome together. Alright, so overall, I give AEW Unrivaled Series 12 Jamie Hayter an overall score of an 8 out of 10. This is a really cool figure, and I'm glad that Jamie's first figure ever is a cool one. Now, there are some complaints, and I will cover those, starting with that face sculpt and face scan. Now, I am going to be honest here, and looking at that scan and sculpt at different angles gives different results. Sometimes I looked at it from a different angle, and I'm like, oh, it looks great. But then other times it looked generic like what we've been seeing. And in my opinion, I think Jazwares' face sculpts and also their scanning technology is not up to par with Mattel as far as capturing the likenesses, so I think her scan and sculpt does leave some to be desired. Now, another complaint. Why did the regular version not come with that entrance jacket? So the Chase or the Rare, whichever one it is in this series here, comes with that entrance jacket. It's the only difference between this, as far as I know, between the regular release and the Chase. And in my opinion, that jacket should have came with all of them. It's not like it's a soft goods fur jacket, this sculpted plastic or rubber jacket that I think really would have benefited this figure, and it would have raised the score in my opinion. And I think they all should have gotten that jacket, and then the chase should have been a different attire. So that was really lazy. One of the laziest chases I've seen in my opinion, as I have Penelope behind me. But yeah, so that's another complaint. Now, some good things I can say about this figure is the hair sculpt's cool, the attire is amazing. I mean, the intricate paint detail really takes me back to when I reviewed Ruby Soho from Unmatched Series 6, and how spot on the detail was and the extra effort they put in the attire. I think it's excellent. Also, I think the body sculpt is awesome. The body sculpt is like a shrunken down version of Jamie. It is one of the best sculpts I've ever seen as far as capturing the likeness between the wrestler and the figure, and I think it's awesome. So I think this is an excellent, excellent, excellent figure, but we did have to wait 7 months for this figure to come out. So I really wish it came with that jacket, and I wish the face was a little bit better. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot of complaints. Excellent figure. Definitely suggest you pick it up. Thanks for stopping by Lumberjillville. Women's wrestling lives here. For our first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, make sure to hit subscribe and become an official resident of LJV today. Head on over to ringsidecollectibles.com and use coupon code LJV at checkout to save 10% on your next order of women's wrestling figures. Now stay tuned. Liv Morgan from WWE Basic Series 139 is supposed to be here tomorrow at the time of this video release, so I really hope that that review comes out Saturday. I'm real excited for that figure. Love Liv. Very excited to finally have another Liv Morgan figure. So that'll be up shortly, but I appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Have a great night, y'all.